Well, good morning from Cottage Farmstead. Spring is officially here, both on the calendar and in the weather that we are having outside. And I know a lot of people are getting ready to start their annual spring cleaning of their homes. Despite what you see me working on in the video, I'm not actually spring cleaning our house. I actually never spring clean our house. Realistically, with having gardens, farm animals, cooking, laundry, a part-time job, there is no mythical someday that I'm going to have a ton of time where I can set aside an entire weekend to devote to cleaning my house top to bottom. And with a little one on the way, that will be even more true in the future. So how to maintain our house? Because you do have to do the deep cleaning chores at some point. You do have to wash the windows and dust the surfaces and get behind the furniture and underneath the cushions at some point in order to maintain a healthy home. For our farmhouse, I have found that dividing up the house into zones that I work throughout the year enables me to get to all of those chores actually a couple times a year so that the dust and the grime and the fingerprints on the windows don't build up to a point where it would actually take an entire weekend or week to clean the house. So currently our house is divided into 7 zones. Eventually there will be a couple more zones added on as we finish the bedrooms upstairs and do some finishing work down in the basement. But ultimately it's probably going to be 10 to 12 zones for our house. Right now it is the entry hall and laundry room area, our master suite, our dining room. I've divided up our kitchen into 2 zones as it requires a little bit more deep cleaning, and then our living room. And then the following week would be our stairs and the bookcase wall that needs some more extensive dusting. So when I was dividing up our house into zones, what I was aiming for was to have each zone take about an hour or an hour and a half to complete top to bottom if I did it start to finish. I can divide up these tasks into smaller chunks. I could do the windows in 5 minutes chunk, and then I could dust for about 15 minutes another day. And I could deep clean the bathroom another day if I needed to divide it up on a really busy week. But the goal was generally to not clean more than 2 hours in a given week. Even with all the stops and starts that come with filming yourself clean, it still only took about an hour and 20 minutes to clean the master suite top to bottom. So for me, there's several advantages to having a zone-based system that I am rotating through on a loop. First, it means I never have to devote an entire weekend, especially in the prime of the year like spring, to something like cleaning the entire house. Secondly, it enables me to maintain a cleaner home with a whole lot less effort. So for example, let's take, say, a dusting chore behind some of your furniture. If I let the dust build up in my house for 52 weeks of the year, it is going to be quite the dust bunny nest underneath my furniture. But with having this loop-based system, when I currently have about 7 zones, I'm able to hit each of these areas about 5 to 6 times a year. So I'm actually able to deep clean my house more frequently with a less amount of time. And I'm only ever cleaning up about 6 to 7 weeks worth of dust at a time. So there's a whole lot less buildup. Same thing with fingerprints on the window. There's a whole lot less grime that I'm trying to wipe off when I am doing it more frequently throughout the year. And the third reason that I really enjoy a loop-based cleaning system is that it enables me to take breaks and rest as I need to, while still ensuring that everything in the house does get deep cleaned periodically. So if we go on vacation, if it's the holiday season, I get sick, I have a horrible migraine one week, I can take that week off, no big deal. I will just pick up, say if the week was for the dining room, the next week I will pick up with the dining room and continue going through each of the zones. And it's no big deal. I know that I'm still going to hit all of those areas in my house 6 or 7 times a year. I don't have to feel any stress or guilt about taking a little bit of time off. On the other hand, if I were counting on one weekend a year to be the weekend that I get the house clean, and I plan ahead and I set aside the time for it, I make sure that I have some easy meals set up and that the gardening chores are complete in advance, and I mean, if I have to hire a babysitter with a little kid or something like that, like you have all that planning that goes into that one important weekend that you're going to get the house clean, and then I get a migraine, or I get sick, or the kid gets sick, and then the whole plan to clean your house, that once a year day that you were going to clean, falls apart. And then you have to try and figure out how you're going to fit that back into your busy schedule, because, well, the next weekend you have something else going on, and the next weekend the farmer's market starts up again, and the next weekend there's this, and then you don't ever actually get around to it, and then it starts piling up, and there is a little bit of guilt and stress involved in that. At least for me personally, that would stress me out. So I like being able to take a break when I need to and pick up right where I left off, without feeling like I have to cram it all in one very big weekend of the year. Well, thank you for joining me as I cleaned our master suite this week. I hope my sharing our deep cleaning rotation was helpful and gives you some ideas on how to reduce your spring cleaning load or eliminate it entirely. Happy spring, everybody, and we'll catch you next time.